This thing on your heart isn't going to go away, but it doesn't age well. I'm going to be straight with you on that. It does not age well. A year from now, you are going to wish you had started today. You're not going to care that it was a Monday or a Friday or a Wednesday or Tuesday at 3 p.m. You will not care a year from now, but a year from now, you will wish that you had started a year ago. Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become. Hello and welcome to episode 300 of the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. I have to tell you, I am beyond excited and beyond thrilled to be here with you on the 300th episode of Breakthrough Mode. If you listened to Monday's episode, which was 298, I told you that as I was thinking about this week, I had to acknowledge to myself that episode 300 would not have been possible without episode 1. It just wouldn't have happened. It just couldn't have happened. Episode 1 was required in order for me to get to episode 300. And I'm so proud of myself, to be honest, that I had the consistency, that I had the faith, that I had the trust, that I could do it, that I could come up with the content, that I had enough to say, that I could always figure out when to record and how to get it done and all of the things. And some of that is what we are going to talk about it today, using episode 300 and episode 1 as our example, because this feels like a milestone. And as excited as I am about 300, the excitement for episode 1 feels just as strong, because episode 300, to be honest, this was easy. This was easy. It was easy for me to pull up my recorder. It was easy for me to make my podcast notes. It was easy for me to hook up my mic, and it's easy for me to talk to you right now. And it's going to be easy to edit, and it's going to be easy to schedule. It's easy because I've done this so many times. But episode 1, that was hard. That was really hard. It was hard to come up with what to say. It was hard to not overthink my notes, to think, what are people going to think? What are they going to even think that I have anything valuable to say? Or the fear of what people are going to think is real. And how is this recording going to turn out? Like, is the video going to be okay? Is the audio going to be okay? How is the lighting? Is that going to be okay? Is it all perfect? Because perfectionism is a real thing. And then once it was all done, it was like, how much do I edit? How do I edit? What's this export process like? Blah, blah, blah. All of it was brand new. It was all really scary. And it's not scary anymore. So as much of an accomplishment as episode 300 is, episode 1 was the real triumph. And that's what we're focused on today. This week, I hope that you have either started something or that you have put full intentions and a full plan behind starting something. I know if this were me listening to this episode week, I'd be like, okay, Megan, I'm going to start something, but boy, howdy, I'm starting it on Monday. I'm not starting midweek. This week, I'm going to plan. This week, I'm going to get my ducks in a row. And on Monday, I will start. That is how I would operate. So if that's how you're doing it, then okay, I totally relate. And if you were like, you know what? I don't care that it's Tuesday. I'm starting right now. I also immensely respect that too. So I hope that either you're getting your ducks in the row for a Monday start, or you were just like, screw this, I'm doing it, and you just got started. I am so proud of you, to be honest, because starting can be so hard. We often don't start because we think we're lazy or that we're undisciplined, or we label ourselves as procrastinators. And okay, I don't know you personally, but there might be some truth to that. And I've had enough experience that I know that underneath the so-called laziness or the lack of discipline or the procrastinating behavior, what's truly under there, what's actually driving those symptoms, because they are symptoms, not causes, what's actually beneath that is fear. That's what we're actually dealing with. There can be a fear of failure. Like, what if I try it and it doesn't work? A fear of success. What if I do it and it does work? And then, like, I can't handle it, or people don't like me because I'm successful. There could be a fear of judgment. I've had this real fear of judgment. People won't think I'm good enough, that whatever, et cetera, et cetera. It's boring. What will people think is the core of that one. There can be a fear of wasting time. I also have this one. I want to get it right the first time. I don't want to waste any time, but what if I don't get it right? And then what if I do waste time? There's that fear. And then, of course, there's that fear of not being good enough. Like, what if I don't have what it takes? What if I thought I was capable of this and then I find out I'm not? That's really scary. I love this quote by Mark Twain. It's one of my very favorite quotes, and it's coming to mind right now because there's a very strong parallel here with fear. So Mark Twain, he said something like this. I'm going to paraphrase it because I didn't look it up. He said, "It's better to remain silent and appear stupid than open your mouth and remove all doubt." I'm going to let that land a second. But the way this connects here with fear, it's like the fear tells us it's better for us to not try and appear like we can't do it than to try it and remove all of the doubt, right? We don't want to know that we're not capable of it or that we're not good enough. That's freaking scary. We don't want that to be our reality. So we avoid anything that might reveal us as not being good enough or lacking in some way. However, this fear keeps us stuck because this idea of not being good enough, we feel like that is a final, permanent stamp on your forehead, irreversible, irremovable decree from whatever. And it's not. You can be not good enough and get better and be good enough. You can suck at something and improve. That's not a permanent state. You can fail at something and try it again and be a success. You can figure out that you can't handle it, learn how to handle it, and then all of a sudden you increase your capacity and you can handle it. None of these fears are the ultimate permanent states of being for you, but this fear tells us that if this is what's revealed, this is our identity and it is unchangeable. However, it is changeable. Even if all of those fears were to actually come to life and be in your face in reality, they are all changeable. They're all changeable. If you fail, you can succeed. If you succeed and you're freaked out, you can work through that too. If people judge you, guess what? People judging anyway. They're going to judge no matter what. They're going to judge if you go out there and change the world, and they're going to judge if you sit on your couch for 16 hours a day watching Netflix. They're going to judge no matter what. That one is unavoidable. So if you waste time, that one is just a reframe away, because when you try something, you kind of figure out what doesn't work, or you figure out what's not for you. That ends up being information rather than a waste of time. And then if you find out that you're not good enough, then get better. Like that's something that's possible that you can do. Like maybe you go back and listen to episode 1 and you're like, "Man, Megan, that was terrible." Okay, well, I've probably improved. Actually, I've definitely improved over the last 299 episodes because I've done it so much that improvement was inevitable. When you repeat something, you do get better at it. Like that's just how it happens. Okay, so we've got these fears, right? We have all these fears, or maybe you just have one that really hits hard, or maybe you have the whole stack. The thing is that the fear's not going to go away before you act. It won't. It's going to hang around. It's going to harass you. It's not going to leave your side just because you're not acting on it. The fear starts to dissipate as you act. And the more you act, the less the fear shows up. So like I said, this episode 300, this is easy. It's not scary anymore. I just do it. It's just part of how I do things now. It's just normal for me. And episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even to episode 50, those were scary. Those were scary. And I just did it anyway. Okay, so we have all of these fears. They're not going away until we act. We've got to just do it. And then the fear will start to dissipate. It'll start to leave you alone. And then you can go on without it. So the trick here is to do the thing, to start the thing, even if you feel afraid. There's a really great book out there. I've read it many years ago. I still recommend it. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's a quick, short read, and I recommend it. If fear is something that's really holding you back, go buy that book, go find it at the library, do what you got to do. But listen to it, read it, and see what's there for you to help you move despite the fear, because it's not about doing the thing once the fear is gone. It's doing the thing even though fear is hanging out in the passenger seat with you when you'd rather it not. So I'm going to give you some tactics, some tools to try, some ways to think about this to help you get started this week or on Monday if you're a little crazy like me. The first thing that you can do is make the goal embarrassingly small. So make it so small that it's like inevitable that you will reach that goal. That takes away that fear of failure a little bit. You're like, this goal is so small, it's kind of stupid. That goal could be like putting your running shoes on in the morning. Okay, I did it. And now once your running shoes are on, it's kind of like, all right, well, I might as well just go running. And you can go do it. The thing that I would warn you about this one is that sometimes goals that are super small are also not motivating enough to get us into action, to get us into movement. So I would take this one very carefully because I need something a little bit grander in order to really get me into movement. So if this sounds like it works for you, give it a shot. If it doesn't, if it sounds like, oh, I'm not even going to be motivated to get off the couch with that kind of a goal, then bag it. Try one of these other ones. Commit to 5 minutes. This one I love. You can do anything for 5 minutes. You can truly do anything for 5 minutes. Set a 5-minute timer and start. Whatever is the starting point, whether that's Googling how to start, whether that's looking up a healthy recipe, whether that's looking up the workout for the morning, whether that's looking up the first step to something, or doing the first step, or getting the supplies out, or learning how to schedule a podcast, or whatever it is. Set a timer and do one thing towards starting for 5 minutes. And I hope that as you do this, you will find that once that 5-minute timer goes off, you'll be like, man, that was fast. I need another 15. And you can set that timer to 15 and look at that. You will have really started. And if you don't feel like continuing, I encourage you to not. Keep the promise to yourself that if you only were going to do 5, just do 5, move on with something else, do another 5 tomorrow. The next thing that I would encourage you to do is to simply focus on the next step, the next thing in front of you, the first thing that needs to be done. What is that thing? If you're launching a business or starting an organization or side hustle or whatever, it could be buying the domain name. I'm going to buy the domain name, meganbauer.com, purchase. Great. You did it. You started. Or whatever it is, there could be just one first step. Focus on doing that, fulfilling that, and that's it. Then move on to the next step. Don't focus on the finish line, the grand thing that feels big and overwhelming. Focus on what's right in front of you because that feels doable. The next thing that you can do is to tell someone for accountability. I'm not very good at this one. I really like to hold things to myself until I make a little bit of progress and then be like, want to see what I've been working on? But this works for a lot of people. A lot of people need that accountability, that somebody who will check in and ask, how's it going? I don't like that. I want to have a little bit more something to show. So again, this one will be based on personality. I think they're all based on personality, honestly. I just seem to point that out when it's one that I won't do. So if having somebody holding you accountable helps, do it. If it doesn't, skip it. Then this one is my very favorite, to be honest. This one shifts your perspective. When you're thinking about the next step, when you're thinking about doing the thing, the first thing, and you get these thoughts that come up that are like, oh, but I need to go change the laundry, or oh, I forgot to make this phone call, or oh, blah, blah, or oh, whatever. And you start to realize that you're getting pulled in a different direction. This is an opportunity to stop. Stop everything. Stop moving, physically moving. Stop your thoughts and ask yourself, who is driving the bus right now? Who's driving the bus? If you are about to start on your thing, you're about to buy your domain name, you're like, oh, I'm going to log on to Google Domains or whatever. Google Domains doesn't exist anymore. But I'm going to buy my domain name and, oh, I forgot to make that phone call. I need to schedule blah, blah, blah. Stop. Who is driving the bus? Even if you do need to make that phone call and all of that is real, if you can stop yourself and notice that fear is driving the bus, you can then choose if you want fear to keep driving the bus or if you are going to take the wheel. You take the wheel, you do the next step, you follow through, then you can make the phone call, then you can do whatever. You've got space for both. I promise you do. Because the thing that always needs to be done always gets done. And if it doesn't get done, it didn't need to be done and it's going to be okay. What I'm encouraging you to do here is that any thought that comes up when you are about to start or when you're thinking about starting or when you've got these thoughts of like, I don't know how to start, I don't know what to do, I want you to ask yourself, who is driving the bus? If it's you or if it's fear. Because you, in a state beyond fear, would just act. You would just do the thing. You would get the next step done. You'd get the first step done. Whatever step we're on, you would just do it. And fear is the one who comes in and interferes. Fear wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you protected. It wants to make sure that nothing goes wrong ever. And so heaven forbid you try to do anything new. Heaven forbid you try to start anything new because that is scary. So when you look at that, you can choose to let fear drive the bus. And if you do, acknowledge that that is a choice that you are making. And that's fine. Sometimes I make that choice too. And if you don't want fear to drive the bus, then take the wheel back and be like, no, I am doing this thing. Remember, if you listen to Monday's episode 298, I told you that these things that are on your heart to start, to do, the habit, the project, the life change, whatever it is that we are starting this week, this thing on your heart isn't going to go away, but it doesn't age well. I'm going to be straight with you on that. It does not age well. A year from now, you are going to wish you had started today. You're not going to care that it was a Monday or a Friday or a Wednesday or Tuesday at 3 p.m. You will not care a year from now. But a year from now, you will wish that you had started a year ago. And if you keep pushing it off, this desire on your heart will grow into a regret. I wish I had just had the courage. I wish I didn't care what other people thought. I wish I had believed in myself. This does not age well. This desire on your heart is on your heart for a reason. It's part of your life's work. It's part of your journey. It's part of the path you are meant to walk. And you are going to grow and develop by overcoming fear, by overcoming the challenges, by learning what you need to learn, by getting better at what you need to get better at. All of that is part of the journey. Just because it's part of your path doesn't mean it's not going to have its challenges or its obstacles. It just means that you're on the right road. That's what it means. So, my friend, if you have fear that is holding you back, that is distracting you, that is whatever, I encourage you to take back the wheel and do it anyway. And if you fail, you try again. And if you succeed and it freaks you out, you work through that. And if you feel like you're not good enough, then you get better. And if you're scared that people are going to judge you, know that they already are. And that's just a state that you're going to live in because people judge. That's just part of it, part of living it. I want to reiterate and I want to leave this with you that this thing on your heart is meant for you. Anything that tells you that you're not capable or that you're not good enough is a lie, fundamentally. There's room to grow. There are things to learn. And you get to start. You get to start today. You get to be better. You get to continue. You get to improve. You get to make it happen. It starts now. It starts at episode 1. You can't get to 300 without episode 1. This is what we're doing. This is Start Week. Thank you so much for joining me today. I totally love you. Bye for now.